Abby Anderson is probably the most controversial character we've ever seen in The Last of Us. She's a character who initially embraces the worst traits and gives a horrifying first impression. However, as the game progresses, we spend more time with Abby, we're shown a more sympathetic side to her character, we're shown the consequences of trauma and how it slowly destroys your mind. And most importantly of all, we're shown an exploration of redemption and how someone so psychotic, so irredeemable and manipulative can embark on the quest of salvation. The first time we're introduced to Abby, we see a young woman laying on the floor in distress, tormented by a past we can't see, cursed with the trauma we're yet to experience. After spending some time with Abby, it's revealed she's here to punish Joel for everything he did in the St. Mary Hospital. Punish him for the cure he destroyed, vengeance for her father's murder and all the pain that came with it. Abby, under what can only be described as an unfortunate coincidence, is saved by Joel and safely escorted away from the plague of infected swarming the area. However, this act of humanity will be Joel's greatest mistake, completely unaware of the impending doom he and his brother Tommy are marching towards. Upon their arrival, Abby treats the group with respect and kindness, offering them a brief retreat from the storm. However, things take a dark and sadistic turn when Tommy and Joel reveal their identities to the group.
They'll act like you heard of us or something.
Because they have.
This one word will turn this safe retreat from the storm into a horrifying torture chamber where Joel is violently and brutally beaten by a traumatized Abby who hopes to find peace in the flagellated body of Joel. Bruised and broken. A common theme in The Last of Us story is trying to find peace in the most heinous acts of violence possible. Joel murders Jerry so he can live in prosperity with Ellie. Abby tortures Joel to death so she can be freed from the memories of watching her father's blood ooze the floor. And Ellie will embark on the ultimate quest of chaos, death, and destruction to watch her father's murderer and torturer pay for the punishment and pain she wrought onto Joel. Abby delivers the final blow and leaves a bloody Joel in the sight of Ellie, completely unaware and ignorant of passing her trauma onto someone else. The following days and weeks are met with nothing but regrets and guilt. Because even when justice is brought and Joel is dead, her pain and depression still resides and is given more power than ever before. What I genuinely love so much about this character is how we are shown the consequences of giving in to our internal pain. And because of this, everyone else in the story suffers and becomes cruel, selfish, and embraces their darkest traits to find salvation. For the first half of the game, we're shown a biased perception of Abby through Ellie and the Jackson crew. However, we're never shown or told why Abby did what she did, who she is, or why she even killed Joel. No, we're shown and told that Abby is a monster and deserves to suffer the same fate Joel did. However, around halfway through the game, when the stakes are high and tense, we cut to a flashback that shows us a younger Abby. Someone who's ambitious, loving, and cares for her family. This level shows us a different side to Abby, which is much more vulnerable. She's physically weak, ignorant to the suffering around her, and endures a sight that would break most. In this moment, the kind, innocent girl will slowly be morphed into a harbinger of chaos that will stop at nothing to destroy the man who took so much from her. In this moment, this part of Abby dies. Or does she? In the second half of The Last of Us Part 2, we take control of Abby and guide her through her side of the story. We're shown her strengths, weaknesses, how badly she wants to find peace, be happy, and live in a life of prosperity. Many people criticize this part of the game, saying it's pointless, irrelevant, and has no impact on Ellie's side of the journey. However, this couldn't be further from the truth. This side of the story gives us that context to see Abby as no better or worse than Joel. She inherits all the same traits of Joel, makes selfish decisions that inflict trauma onto others, and simply can't let go of the past, no matter how hard she tries. This story isn't trying to compare Abby and Ellie, it's trying to explore the similarities of Abby and Joel, and how Ellie inherits the worst traits of both. Throughout Abby's journey, we see a very human side to her character. We see the accomplices of torture in the light of regular people bonding and developing relationships. We're shown Abby's internal pain manifesting into a boiling rage where she desperately wants to hunt down Joel and bring him to justice. We're shown everything about who she is, why she went down this path, and how she can redeem from it. The tragedy of Abby's character is she's always haunted by the path both internally and physically, creating a cycle of vengeance, pain, and destruction which will inevitably evolve into one final clash where two broken people fight in a brawl of fractured pasts and sufferings. After defeating Ellie and abandoning Seattle with Lev, they travel to Santa Barbara in an attempt to find a new life where they can both settle and become a family. In a brief moment of hope, they contact the Fireflies and are reassured of their existence and where to reach them.
We pulled everyone back from the satellite stations and brought them back here to home base.
How many of you are there?
We're about 200 strong now, with a few more every month.
This is the last time we ever see Abby optimistic or hopeful, because when they leave the house, they're immediately ambushed by rattlers who hunt and subject them to slavery. For countless months on end, the two survivors are worked to the bone, beaten and starved to the point of near death and dehydration. None of this is explicitly shown to us, and their torture is entirely ambiguous. However, there is one reference point, and that's the aftermath of the suffering. The bruised, beaten corpse crucified on a pillar in the middle of the beach. What makes this ending so uncomfortably disturbing is we actually got to spend time with this character and learn that she's just as flawed as everyone else. No better than the man who killed hundreds of innocent people and lied to his daughter. No better than the woman who murdered everyone in her path for a chance at salvation. Throughout the entire game, we see and understand why she's so loved by many for her selflessness, yet we understand and see why she's so hated for her selfishness. There's a very good reason why Ellie doesn't kill Abby at the end of this story, and that's because everything this universe has taught us is that selfishness is never rewarded. Every time a character makes a decision that involves somebody else's death or well-being, directly results in a negative consequence that impacts them and everyone around them. Killing Abby in this moment would have denied Ellie that chance of retribution, and probably would have destroyed the last shred of humanity and respect she still has left. The character of Abby in The Last of Us Part 2 story is an attempt of trying to get us to empathize with the villain and challenge our perceptions of who the villain really is. Her character enforces themes of growth and redemption at the cost of everyone around her regressing to their most awful traits. There's just as many reasons to hate Abby as there is to love her. She's deeply flawed in a way that's extremely interesting and makes me appreciate this story and characters even more. Abby Anderson is one of the greatest antagonists we've ever seen in gaming, and I simply can't wait to see where her story concludes in The Last of Us Part 3. Thanks for watching the video, guys. If you enjoyed, perhaps giving me a like, that would kind of help me out in the algorithm, and share your thoughts on this character and this story in general. I'm really curious. Hope you have a wonderful day, guys. Check out the channel if you want, and take care of yourself. I'll see you in the next video, and bye-bye.